So we all know that Polaris made quite a bit of noise in the industry this year with the Pro R Rzr, and we thought we'd take it up a notch or two with the crew over at Mbrp. All right, so Jared, we have come to Mbrp, we've come to the headquarters, to the R&D facility, and we're going right from first idea of an exhaust through to the final production. Give us a bit of a breakdown of how this process goes, how long it takes, and how many different variations Mbrp does to get a final product, because this is a big process.
For sure. I mean, as you guys have seen from the initial process of scanning, and now we're here today to dyno, it takes several iterations of exhaust, and we have a certain standard that we try and get to. It's got to sound good and perform. Those are the two key things, and at the end of the day, it's got to look good. But we'll go through anywhere from 6, 8, 10 different iterations to get that result we're looking for. When we did the initial scan right at the DirtTrax headquarters, that is step one of building any Mbrp exhaust. The real benefit of that is when we scan it, it gives us a kind of a landscape of where the exhaust is going to sit. Use your factory mounting locations, so that makes it really easy for you guys at home to say, okay, well, I can just install this in my garage. Sometimes you don't have to get it put on at a dealer, so it's a very user-friendly product. So after we've kind of got that figured out, we got a baseline of where the exhaust is going to sit and how it's going to function in that space. We then start making those alterations, which brings us here today to start then sound testing and dynoing.
Hallmarks of Mbrp products is always that they have to do better than stock. You guys don't require a fuel programmer, you don't require an intake. It's always bolt-on performance, and that's one of the things that I really like, because there's a lot of other manufacturers that require you to do a whole lot more to get the gains they're telling you will come from an exhaust. This exhaust made horsepower, we saw it on the dyno. Doesn't matter how the dyno's set, we know from stock to Mbrp, it made about 2.5 extra horsepower, and that's pretty impressive based on the fact that this is a really high performance motor and they're pulling a lot from it. So just sort of tell us about why that's so important and why Martin's always made that one of his kind of key staples of this company.
Absolutely. One of the key staples of Mbrp is making power at Mbrp, and that goes back to way back in the diesel days, and that's something we still carry all the way through the process today, is making sure that it does perform. I think anybody can really build a loud exhaust, but to have it sound good and make that extra horsepower without the tuning or clutching or anything else needed is something our end enthusiasts can really appreciate.
So some of the hallmarks of Mbrp that I really appreciate are the fact that you can bolt this exhaust directly on at home. You use your stock mounting locations, and you don't need to read a huge instruction manual on how to get this thing on there. That's important. Number two is that once you've bolted it on, it's bolt-on horsepower. You don't need to do anything else. It's set it and forget it. Number three is that this product is North American made right here, like 300 feet from where I'm standing. And to me, that's very important, because you guys have the material on site, you have the know-how, you have the production facility, you do everything right here. This isn't made in China and then shipped to your door. This is made in Canada, in North America, and it's a high quality product. And I really appreciate that, because there's truthfully a lot of junk out on the market.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, as you can see from our design process, that a lot of our changes and everything are made right here on site. We have a team of 130 very skilled team members, and that are building these products day in and day out. So very happy to offer that right here in Canada.
So Jared, you have taken us from initial idea all the way through to a finished product. The only thing I got left to do is take this thing home and put some testing on it, put some miles on, and see how it feels, see how it sounds. Most importantly, how it sounds, because just driving it at the garage here sounds so flipping awesome. I mean, this thing, a 2-liter inline 4. Yeah. Nobody's ever had this sound in off-road before, so this is super cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can all agree this thing is just absolutely ridiculous of how, what it is. I mean, so yeah, 4-cylinder engine, and now you got your Mbrp exhaust on it, so I can't wait to see what you have to say about it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna sound great, and I'm excited to put it on the trail, so let's go do that.
Right on.
after the dyno runs, I knew that this was going to be loud because it was inside the building. When I got it out into nature though, I wasn't sure what to expect, but the reality is the sound from it, yes, it's loud. It's a little bit louder than most MBRP products, but if you buy a 2-liter Rzr, you want something that makes some really sweet, really crisp noise. And it has all of those genuine hallmarks that MBRP stuff always does. You know, it's 304 stainless that can be repolished. It's built to a high standard. It's, you know, guaranteed to fit. It's bolt on. You don't have to add any tuner. All of those things wrapped in. But the sound is just so good. It reminds me of Fast and the Furious. It brings me back to my teenage years. This is the best sounding side-by-side ever produced.
All right.